Well, hello, Mariah.
Hey, Monique.
How are you today?
I'm good. I'm feeling really excited to be podcasting with you, my bestie, and just always enjoy the opportunity to be in the studio together. So looking forward to our amazing conversation.
Yes, today is a first.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know. I feel like a little bit of nerves inside.
Do you? You're nervous about this one?
Not about this person, but about kind of like breaking our cherry, so to speak.
Whoa.
I went there.
We're breaking our barrier that we've had
up to this point, which is
our first male guest.
I'm infiltrating.
Where did that list come from?
Little does everyone know I've been here the whole time.
The whole time.
Actually.
Wait, yeah, just behind the scenes.
Right.
Now we're putting,
Totally.
we asked you to come in front of the camera.
So our guest today is
Yes.
Asher James, Asher James Creative, who is also our producer for the podcast.
Girl.
We literally owe it all to Asher to
Yes.
have made this at all possible.
Yes.
Without
Yes,
him,
yes, yes.
the two of us would have been,
Hot
we'd have
Mess
failed
Express.
fast. So we are so grateful that Asher was literally behind the scenes from day one, producing us and helping us learn how to be podcasters. And when I thought, I was like, well, Asher needs to be guest on our podcast. And we were like, whoa.
Wait a minute.
This
We
is
don't do dudes.
But he is
I'm actually here under duress. Just for
Asher's a special human that knows, like, there's no labels that this guy needs put upon him because he's just his own special form of magic.
Yes, I know. Like fairy dust just falls down when you walk in the room like,
So there was no question he needed to be a guest. And
Yes.
it's so exciting that after so many episodes, we're finally bringing Asher here to talk about what he does. And not only as our podcast producer, but
Yes.
so much more.
He's more to us than just a podcast.
Oh, he is. And he is a quintessential entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Like when I ask you what you're doing, it's different from day to day. And I'm like, I feel seen.
I feel seen.
and I have to like think about it too. I'm like, wait, what am I doing right now?
What does today bring?
What day is it?
So we should probably start.
Let's go ahead and get this episode kicked off because
Yes.
we have a lot to dive into with
Obviously.
Asher James. Welcome to Heart and Soul, the podcast where we empower and inspire women to lead their best lives, harnessing the power of their hearts and souls. We are Mariah
And Monique.
your hosts and guides on this journey of self-discovery and personal growth.
In each episode, we will dive deep into topics that matter most to you, from self-love and confidence to career development, relationships, and everything in between. We believe that every woman has a unique strength and inner wisdom waiting to be unleashed.
Join us as we cover insightful heart and soul-centered topics and interview incredible women who've overcome challenges, chased their dreams, and found their true purpose. Through all of this, you will discover practical tips, strategies, and real-life stories to help you navigate life's twists and turns.
For whatever season of life you're in, this podcast is your safe space to explore, learn, grow, and possibly even laugh and cry with us. So grab your headphones, maybe your favorite drink, and we'll embark on this transformative journey together.
With heart, I'm Mariah.
And with soul, I'm Monique.
Well, welcome, Asher.
Hi.
Hi.
This is so. I keep
Hi,
thinking.
Mariah.
Hi, Asher.
Hi, Monique.
Hey.
Somehow
I got to do it finally.
you did. You
Yes.
finally got in on that.
If we
We're
ever
like,
have merch, that's what like needs to be like. Yeah,
We need, yes.
that could be fun.
we need T-shirts.
Yes.
It just happened over time that was like our little like intro. We would say
it
that
really
back
did.
and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, like so many things organic.
Yeah.
Before you start, I want to say how I met.
Yes, let's go into
we could
our.
get so derailed on so many different things.
This is going to be our challenge.
Right.
Okay, so
okay.
I want to just say how you
Yeah.
at a party.
Oh, is that how you met
the
Asher at my
speakeasy
party?
That's right.
And then he's just sitting lounging on a couch, and I'm with two of my boys and one of my daughter-in-laws, right?
Yeah.
And you're just lounging there, and I felt like you were missing a stogie, but I think you had like a glass of like some bourbon or whiskey.
I was probably drinking a whiskey that Nick was drinking.
Of
Yes.
course.
Yeah.
And you're just like, just like hosting, and I'm like, who's the guy in the corner?
Who's that guy?
Was I in the corner and I wasn't like in the center of the room trying to like get everyone's attention?
It was like
That's a
there's
joke.
chairs around the room. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're sitting there talking to me and one of my sons or both my sons.
Sure.
And I just was like, whoa, this person's really interesting. Talk about someone who has a wide breadth and depth of interests and just like so interesting, right? And I was talking to one of my sons. He's like, yeah, I feel like he knew a lot about a lot of things. And I was like, yeah, what a unique guy. He must be like 45. I have no idea. I'm so bad at age, right? Like,
No, I've gotten that.
No one young could have known so much.
Sure.
Not looks. I'm sorry
Sure.
if that sounded poor.
No,
But-
it's fine. I love it.
Yeah. And then when I realized, you're like one of the age of my children, I was like, what the? So it was, anyways, it was such a cool experience meeting you. And ever since just like working together, you've helped me produce some of my Kundalini yoga videos, some of my online stuff. It's been so fun. You've been so great, so easy to work for. Like she said, you make coming to work and doing what we do look seamless.
Oh,
So it's an honor to work with you.
likewise. Thanks. I love that. I remember that night too. It was great.
Do you?
Yeah.
Sitting in the corner, sipping, just missing your stogie.
You're right. No, I needed and literally I have a cigar box like in the conference room.
Do not tell my husband that.
I know.
And are we allowed to smoke in
No,
this building?
absolutely not.
I was pretty sure.
I know. Nick and I are going to put in like a
There's plans.
fumerator, whatever that thing's called.
Let me know. I like cigars.
That's a no. Well, I met Asher at a wedding, Twin Shores wedding event, because one of Asher's many roles is in wedding photography, and I really remember like quickly like clocking him as like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Same response.
Yeah, like what?
I need to know more.
Yes.
And then one of my team said, "Oh yeah, like he's so cool and." He's actually like thinking about wanting to have a space. And this was right about the time we were buying the Bagley building.
Yeah, this is summer 22.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, we should chat. And so we set up time to meet. And it wasn't 5 minutes into the conversation where I'm like, okay, here's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're going to quit your job and then you're going to go out on this business and you're going to move in with us in the building. We're going to do all this stuff. And he was like, okay.
Did you do this?
Let's go.
Clubbed him over the head and said,
clubbed
mine.
That's kind of how it's been ever since. Yeah.
It pretty much.
I understand.
I'm like, we're going to move you in here. And a best decision because not only is Asher a part of our physical community here in the building that we've built and tried to attract the right, the people that share our aura and creativity and all of the things that he does, but just in all the collaboration that we've been able to do since, like as friends and creatives. And I mean, if I want to brainstorm something, the first person I'm looking for is Asher. I actually spent an entire week on the road with Asher, driving to North Dakota and back over 5 days.
It's very
lot
dangerous.
of windshield time there. Yeah.
Not bored for 1 minute.
I bet you were not.
So much good happened in that car ride. And so
I'm surprised we didn't get in an accident.
neither of us were paying attention.
With just how like into the conversation we were.
You're like, oh, wait, we're driving.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's a testament to like there's not that many people you can spend that much time around and just like constantly be so
engaged.
Just engaged. So
Yeah.
all of this is to introduce Asher James as like just an incredible human that we're excited to finally have our listeners know. And I want everyone to know him.
Yes.
And there are many ways that they can know him.
Yeah. You have so many different ways in which you can help people or you engage with people or you service people. You're such a creative.
Oh,
So let's let Asher introduce himself with his story, which we like to always ask our guests. Tell us your story, Asher James.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Asher. First man on the show. I promise that I'm going to deliver as much as I can.
Be
like
gentle?
just high value, amazing. Right, exactly. It's really truly an honor to be here and to be
Aw.
talking to you and your audience. And I've gotten to know a little bit about who your audience is throughout this whole process. And so, hi everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm honored to be here. So I'm Asher. I am a husband. I am a dog dad, cat dad.
Aw.
Live and dream here in Duluth, Minnesota, and I love it. Living by the lake and driving by that every day never gets old. Never gets
Ever.
old, you know. I like to spend my time, going out to trivia, walking the dogs. I like to spend my time like working because I love what I do. And so I do a lot of photography, filmmaking, made a documentary with Sarah Seidelman last year, which was really fun.
We girl crush on her. Oh my
Seriously.
God.
Yeah.
Love her.
Yeah. And a day without play is a day thrown away is something that I kind of think to myself,
Mhm.
And so everything I do, I want there to be some sort of element of like playful and creativity and positivity, because we get to design our own days, our own daydreams, like we should design it with positivity and not have to listen to all this noise and toxicity that can take away from a life that we're building for ourselves and the people we love,
Love that.
That's who I am and what my kind of ethos is that I bring into what I do and how I live out my days.
One important note about Asher
Yeah.
is that when he decides to like understand something or learn something,
Yes.
he goes deep.
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
if he's going to be like, I like coffee, he is going to know everything
Research.
and research and have the best coffee. And then
Wait, do you like coffee?
I sure do.
Oh,
I
have you-
just literally
Mm.
had the best cup of coffee of my life.
Okay.
What?
Tell
Okay.
me about it.
Sidebar. But
Sidebar.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But
Here we go.
okay, one of my girlfriends brought back from Colombia
Yeah.
Oh.
from a female farm,
Mm.
female-owned farm, run farm. It tastes like butter.
Really?
It tastes like cacao.
Yeah.
I need this in my life.
So good.
I got to let you try a little sippy sip.
Yeah.
If I can even handle giving away any of that.
I know.
Wow.
It's
No.
serious.
If you're looking for some good like single origin coffees like that, like a Colombian coffee or like a Ethiopian or like Mexico, like Jake Underwood is opening up a new cafe from Underwood Coffee that's going to be just up the street here.
Oh, yes.
It's opening up, I think, late summer into fall. Not quite sure.
Yes,
I'm not putting it. I don't know that
Yeah.
from Jake, but he makes the best coffee in town,
Mm.
and he sources it like from people, from farms. So it's like very specifically, like not just from Colombia,
Yes.
not just from Ethiopia,
Yes.
but like from a region.
I met the farmer.
a farm,
we
a
went
farmer.
there. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
I love that
It's-
theory because this is how I.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, wait a minute. There's a difference.
Yes.
When you go to the source, when you meet the source, when the source cares,
Mm.
and it's that boutique feel, like
Yeah.
Josephine's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You go there and they're like, oh, hello. And you're like, how did you know this about me? You feel
Yeah.
like, you
Right.
know, they're stalking you a little
Yeah.
bit, but it's like part of just,
Yeah.
anyways.
Well, this is a perfect example, this conversation of how every conversation I have with Asher goes, because just like you said in his intro, like is a man of just depth and
Yes.
wisdom, and like whatever the topic is, we can just go on and on about it, which I love.
Yeah.
It's so fun. So
Yeah.
just a little sidebar, like if you happen to hit, especially on one of his particular loves or current love, like scent,
Yes.
you are gonna
Oof.
you're in for
Oh, yeah.
a
We
treat.
could go on about
We could
scents
go on
too.
a whole nother fragrance journey together.
Let's put that.
We need smell-o-vision, people.
I know. We'll do our fragrance journey on a future episode.
man.
Could they figure out how to do that? Like get
Yeah.
smells across the screen. I want to scratch and sniff. Do you
I
remember
don't think
those?
it's gonna happen.
Okay, fine.
Back to coffee. There's
Okay, yes, I
James
knew this.
Hoffman used to do. He's a big coffee YouTuber, and he used to do a thing called like the world's largest coffee cupping. And so he would send little things of coffee, little tiny bags, like
Yeah,
not even
like
a full
big
tea
serving.
bag.
one
Yep.
cup.
Exactly. And he would have people sign up, send those all over the world, and he'd have like 40,000 people, well, maybe not that many, I don't know, 4,000, 10,000, doesn't matter, a lot of
Yes.
people. And he would do a live stream and
Oh,
talk people through how to appreciate, how to extract.
that's genius.
And it's like, it's how you can bring that
Yes.
smell experience, that tasting
Yes.
experience, that
Smell-o-vision.
right,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's super cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like we could go on and on.
Yeah.
Alas, we're here to talk about you.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So I would love for you to share what you're up to and how can people experience Asher James and all his gloriousness.
Yes. Well, aside from my like brief intro to who I am, I think I'll just kind of fill in like a little bit of like the history there too. And like, how did we get to where we are now? And like, what is this all looking like? I always love hearing that from other entrepreneurs and business owners and mentors that I've invested in. And I just think it's really important to know other people's stories, especially when you're learning from them too. Cause like, okay, they did this. How can I apply what they learned to my journey? And so for me, I shot my first wedding, which was actually wedding video, not photography, in 2014.
How old were you?
18.
Okay, I was gonna be like, baby, were you an adult?
I was just a little guy. I was just a little guy, fresh out of high school. I was asked before I even graduated high school to shoot this wedding.
That's amazing.
Yep. So it was a friend who had graduated a few years prior. I think he was 24, so he was much older than I am. Or was at the time. I'm still 18, actually. Just kidding.
Not 45.
Right, exactly. I do turn 30 this year, and I'm like so excited for it.
I had the same experience when I turned 30. I was like, woohoo! I reached an age where people like will respect me.
Yeah,
whatever
I can be taken seriously. Yes. Right.
Yeah.
I love it. So I shot this wedding, and then I shot one of his groomsmen's wedding. And then that led to another one, that led to another one. So while I was in college, I was also like kind of accidentally building this wedding brand off on the side.
I love this.
And it was really fun. But because I was a kid, I was in college, I didn't know anything about business. Didn't really have much like established like habits at this point. I was like, and I'm arguably still discovering things about myself when it comes to habits and who I am and the person I want to be. I think we always are. But especially then, so much in life is happening. So long story medium, I ended up kind of burning out, closing down the business by 2017 after shooting maybe like 8 or 9 weddings over the course of that time, and just finished school. Was like, okay, I tried out the entrepreneurial thing. Now I'm going to finish school because I was in college at this time too. And so just like burnt out with like the schoolwork, the jobs, the money, the having to edit the films. And it was just a lot. So focused on school, graduated, got a office job working back at the university that I graduated from. I was working in admissions and loved the job. And I loved working with students and helping people find like, careers or ideas or majors or classes or jobs or internships. And like that to me, like serving the students and like helping people find what lights them up was something that I really loved.
This is a little bit of a preview to what's coming. Yeah,
exactly.
I see this now.
So taking a sip of my tea. So, I was in that job, and in traditional employment, you have your salary, right? Okay. So I was like, ooh, I want to do more around here. I have such like a drive to grow and take more on. So I went to my supervisor and I was like, hey, how can I make more money around here? And she was like, I love it. Okay, do XYZ, do this like little like online course thing if you're interested in higher education, student affairs, do these different tasks. And then in your yearly review, bring all of that up. And then you'll have, shown like, hey, I'm committed to this career. I'm excited. I want to grow. And you can show that you deserve a raise. I was like, okay, sounds great. So over the course of that year, we did XYZ. And just to be safe, we actually went back to the beginning and did ABC, the whole alphabet.
Yeah.
I was supervising students, taking on way more than what my job description was. We get to the yearly review and I'm like, okay, here's all the things I did. What more can I do? And how can I continue to serve in this role? And they're like, budget's a hard thing this year.
Ooh, ouch.
We're not even thinking about doing just like across the board raises that much, which would be like 3% raises. And then for all staff, no matter what they did or didn't do, everyone would get that raise, right? And anyway, long story short, I learned a lesson that no one is ever going to value you like how you can value you.
Yes.
Right. And, if you want to truly be responsible for what your future looks like, what your earning potential looks like, what your family's lifestyle looks like, you need to be the one to take responsibility for that, because it really isn't anyone else's job to give that to you, right? Like I think that we think in this traditional employment that a lot of folks have grown up in a world where that was true. You do grow through the ranks, and then you do earn that thing. that myth of the American dream and American employment is gone.
Shifted.
Yes.
It's not the same.
Nope.
And not as many things are handed to you. Not as many things are expected. Things are a lot more turbulent. Things are a lot more, and arguably, I don't think anything ever was handed to anybody, but just like theoretically,
Yes.
Well, the structures
are
that
different.
held that in place from
That's it.
like the late 1950s
Yes.
until the 2000s, like they were pretty solid, and
Mhm.
they were preached as like, you can count on this.
Yeah.
And then that crumbling started.
Yes.
And now your generation and future generations are looking up and going, wait a minute. And I don't even think they're getting the narrative that this that this is the American dream. I
Yeah.
think the dream has just totally changed.
Yeah. I mean, it's so different to everybody. Everyone has their own version of what that means to them.
Yes.
So yeah. So anyway, going back to the story, I learned, okay, well, no matter how much or how little I do in this job, I'm never going to get what I quote unquote deserve or work for.
Yeah.
Because that's not someone else's job to give to me. It's my job to find that for myself.
Sure.
Right.
How
I'm
did
not,
you not get stuck in the?
I'm not- What do you mean?
Well, we all know people who are like, that's stupid.
Oh, you
just
just get stuck
complaining?
in the anger of it.
Yeah.
Or the wallowing and like,
Yeah.
I work so hard. And because
Yeah.
that is
The-
a key
the blame.
difference
Yes.
between someone who's like, I'm going to take this and lament,
Mm.
or I'm going to take this and create.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. I say this to business owners. I'm like, everything that happens in your business is your fault, right?
Yeah.
It's your
I love
responsibility.
It really
that.
is.
So everything that happens in my life is my responsibility,
Yes.
right? So if I don't get the raise, that's my fault. It's not my employer's fault. It's my fault for staying in that job and thinking that would have happened.
Perfect.
You're
You're so
Yes.
involved, Asher.
Oh, thanks.
I know.
It's incredible.
I love
See
woke-
why we were willing
woke.
to have him on this
Yes.
podcast?
Well, this was around the same time that I was also doing a lot of inner development.
Good.
This was around the time of the pandemic. So
Yeah,
this is about
sure.
4 or 5 years ago, and so I was reading a lot of like self-help. I was reading a lot of like mindset. I was getting introduced to a lot of new like mentors of mine who I have now done their programs and worked with them one-on-one.
That's
And
beautiful.
so a lot of these things were all kind of aligning and happening at the same time, so that I could just be stuck in the anger. I could be stuck in
Mhm.
like that this is frustrating. And I was, not to say I didn't feel those feelings.
Yes.
But instead of letting that define me, I was like, okay, I there's this saying about like envy,
Mhm.
like loathing and envy is a poison cocktail that you make for someone else, but you end up drinking yourself.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Oh, wow.
I'll
I honestly don't think I've ever
Oh,
heard
really?
that.
Yeah.
That is profound.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whew.
Envy.
Okay.
Envy is a poison pill meant for someone else, but you end up drinking yourself. You end up taking yourself. Yeah. So
Dang.
hate and envy and jealousy is all things that you're just ruining your own life with,
Yeah.
not the person
100%.
who you may be
They have
feeling his
no
feelings
clue.
towards. Right.
Usually.
And so I don't hold what happened to me and what happens to almost everybody in traditional employment, to be fair. I don't hold that against my employer, the people. Love them. If they're listening, amazing. Hi, hello. Miss you guys. But I think that there's more of an institutional, infrastructural
Mhm.
problem there when it comes to the employment as a concept, right? And in living in like a capitalist like structure, not inherently for positive or negative, because there's great things and negative things about any
It's just
type
different.
of societal structure.
It's just so different.
I would challenge that too, to say,
Yeah.
I think it just also wasn't aligned for you.
Yes, that's what I was
Totally.
thinking.
Because
too.
for some
Totally.
people, the safety, the security
That's
works
true.
for them. But you were sensing you were out of alignment
Mm,
and you needed something
Yeah.
to wake you up to that and to cause the friction that ultimately got you to change. Like you were born for something more,
yeah.
and that when you started doing it, you began to enter into your zone of genius. And so that it's both and, right? It's both a tricky, flawed system, but also that was not your
It wasn't built for
future.
me.
Was not built for
Rejection
you.
is redirection.
Right.
Right.
I think
Mhm.
that's beautiful because I think I can get caught up in like romanticizing entrepreneurship sometimes, but it isn't for everybody.
No,
Right?
no, it
No.
is not.
And having
Yes.
the benefits that come along with traditional employment is
Yeah.
for a lot of people. That's
Yes.
why that's what most people do. And I also just want to, in case this wasn't clear, say that I don't think that traditionally employed or entrepreneurs are inherently better or worse people than one another. But I do think that certain systems make it more challenging for some folks to exist in those systems. Like it wasn't built for me, right?
Yep.
A 9 to 5 wasn't built for me.
No.
So I ended up
You weren't built
leaving
for it.
that. Right. Yes. So I ended up leaving that, planting the seeds over, the next, I think it was like 14 or 15 months. So not a long time.
Oh, okay.
Between having the idea, hey, I'm going to start my own thing and go full time in it.
When you kind of had already done that.
Well, you were doing the photography.
Yeah,
and
you
the
had like a
videography.
little side hustle where
Well,
you're
that's
like,
actually the beginning.
Yeah.
That's the beginning of it. And so like I was thinking back and I was like, well, how can I leave my job?
Yeah.
Like what's something that I can do to monetize? And I thought about photography and picking that back up again, the wedding videos.
Okay.
And so that's when that all started in 2021. I started putting the idea out into the world of opening up a shared studio space. Once I knew I was going to go full time with my photography, because there was no reality to me in which I wasn't eventually going to be.
Yeah.
So I just started putting the idea out there for a shared studio. I think it'd be really fun to have with other folks.
And
That
then
a
you
year
met
later,
me.
I met Mariah. That was in June.
Yep.
Okay. We talk about the building throughout the summer. Building purchase goes through in August, September. We get access in October, November.
Yep.
I put in my 2-week notice at my job in October for December. So it was more like a 2-month notice. But and then that winter we built out the studio and I was full-time in my photography business and we were opening up Duluth Creative Co. So when I say studio, that's what we're in right now is the Duluth Creative Co. Co-working space and studio. So that history is what brings us to today. And then now something alongside having this space, alongside doing weddings, something that really I have come to find really just like gives me so much fulfillment is helping other people realize what they're capable of and helping other people break out of the systems that they weren't meant for either.
All right, back to the beginning, right?
Correct.
And I feel like this story, if everybody kind of puts themselves in your shoes, and I think this for myself, there's so many things that make sense in the end, right? As you go in circle, it always circles back. If you're really listening to like, what do I really love to do? What really lights me up? That you were always going to come back through here, but doing it in your way.
So true.
And I love that. And you called that out when he was telling the story too. Like, interesting.
Totally.
Got right back there.
Totally.
I do feel like we innately have some of our like just core things that we're good at, that we're drawn to. And we can fight against them, right?
Totally.
Like you did. You had a job because you're like, this is safe. This is, I don't know enough to know that I don't want this.
I said to myself, I want to get comfortable in just being comfortable.
Yes.
Like when I had my office job, I gave that a shot for myself.
Yeah. Yes.
And I was like, oh man, what would it be like to just be comfortable with being comfortable?
Yes.
Did that for a few years. And then, we're in an uncomfortable time at that time in the world. So it was kind of maybe not like the best way for me to gauge if that was for me or not. But I do think that regardless of what the world looked like at that time or not, where I'm at now, I just feel so good.
I feel like your personality though lends itself to what you do.
Sure.
That's I guess the whole point of what I was saying is you have all of these pieces of yourself and they have, yes, they could have, some of the pieces could have done that job, but a lot of the pieces I bet you use in this job.
Totally.
Right.
Well, and that's the other thing is that you were there for a reason.
Yeah.
You picked up things there that have informed along the way, and everything that anyone's doing. If you're listening to this and you're thinking, why the hell am I in this dead end situation?
Or how do I get out of it?
But you're able to recognize that you need to make a change and it's time to go. Know that what you were doing there will show up in the future and make so much sense. And you'll go, oh, I know why I had to be there then. We are always exactly in time where we are supposed to be divinely. But you can't truly see the why behind that until until retrospect, right?
Yes.
Unless you need to become comfortable with the fact that even when it's uncomfortable, you're right where you're supposed to be. And that's presence. That's being in the present moment, right? Well, we could go on. But Asher, I want you to talk to us about the Daydreamer community and the work that you are doing in this education space, because you are like on the verge of disrupting and bringing something so cool to the world that I'm excited we get to debut here on a podcast.
Yeah, get on board, friends. Get on board, because this is the future, is whatever we want it to be, and what we've been dreaming up. So that's my whole kind of ethos and branding has boiled into living your daydream. That's the name of my show. It's the name of my podcast. And I think that in everything that we do, I want people to not just have this daydream that they daydream about in their day nightmare, whatever.
Whatever that day
That they
nightmare
fantasize
is.
about
Whatever
when
that
they're
looks like.
Yeah.
Let's live it, because why not
Why
live our
not?
dream? Why would we want to have anything else, So everything that I do is under that framework. And so I have launched just this year a new online platform called Daydreamers. So it's our little online Daydreamer community. And we've got 26 folks in there right now, which is great.
That's
I've only
awesome.
posted about it like twice. So, but we're growing and it's happening. So Daydreamers is my online free community. So that's the other thing. This is a low to no ticket offer.
Love it.
Where I just want people to get in this group, get in this space. It's off of any other platforms like Facebook or anything like that. It's not a Facebook group. It's its own domain. It's its own website. So it's portal.asherjames.co. And then, so the Daydreamers community, we do weekly mixers, just casual check-ins. Those are right now every other week, but maybe in the future they'll actually be weekly. So we have little midweek mixers. We have monthly coaching calls, and a lot of educators will do a coaching call for their private communities, that are a part of their X amount of dollars course or whatever. I wanted this to be something that was super accessible. I'm new to being an educator, so I want to earn people's trust and give them content for free, coach them for free, and then they're like, holy smokes, like I get all this for free. Like what happens when I actually give Asher $1?
Right.
I need to pay this guy to not leave my side.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so that's the Daydreamers community for me, is just that way to serve people at any step that they're at. So we also have some courses or other programs that are in there that are paid. So if you wanted to, when I launch one of those, join one, you're already in the community. You just click accept, and then you'll be in that program from then. So I'm currently building one out. My kind of first program, which is going to be a 12-week coaching and mentoring program called the Daydreamer 12. 12 weeks, 12 people, 12 dreams, 12 goals, right?
Oh, love that. I love the alliteration of that.
Yeah.
Right?
It's so
Makes
perfect.
it simple. What are you doing?
Exactly. Well, we got 12 people in a room. They all have a goal. They all have a dream. We're going to make it happen, right?
You're going to see such incredible success rates with that clarity.
Yeah.
And I think we've talked so much about this, like really boiling down, like getting clear and giving people tangible goals.
Yeah.
Like, and that 12 weeks, like that's really as far out as anyone can think. Like truly.
Some people can't even go that far out.
Right.
Right.
And so you're giving like this really great amount of time, this right amount of goals to put within that time. Like, I'm so excited for you to be sharing like the success of that program when it happens. Like, it's going to be super powerful.
I'm more interested in the success that people have in the program.
Well, yes,
right?
exactly.
What see
they
what people
do.
can actually do
Yes.
when they're told by someone that you can do this,
Yeah. And
how many
you
of
have
us
some
are just in
deadlines.
the wrong rooms? How many of us are just in the wrong circles, and we don't have
Right.
the right people, however well-intentioned it might be. You tell someone your dream at Christmas dinner and they're just like, oof, it
Oh my
sounds
God.
amazing, but I'm so nervous for you because of XYZ. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about, and then your family, they love you, your friends, they love you, but they might not share that same abundance style mindset that you do, that risky mindset that
They'll
entrepreneurs
suck the
need
life
to
right
have,
out of you.
right?
Yep.
And so you just need to not be in those rooms, but you need to get into some new rooms with folks who do push you. Folks who do tell you, yeah, you can do that. Okay. What do you want to, how can I help you do it right now?
Let's go.
Like, let's get started.
Let's
right?
get you the accountability. That's
So-
what our mastermind group is.
Yes.
Love it.
In our heart and soul group. And
Yeah.
the absolute joy of that is when our members literally achieve those goals
Yes.
faster and easier than they could have dreamed.
Yeah.
And the stories that we've been able to tell are just, it's unbelievable.
Life-changing.
So you're walking into that space now, and I have no doubt that you are going to just serve this community so well.
Thanks. I'm really excited.
So what are the steps? What's coming up, and
Yeah.
how do people get into your ethos?
Yeah. So I'm building out this program, but I'm
Okay.
also to kind of like pilot it. I'm going to be doing like a founding members cohort of this in
Okay.
July. that's going to be launching. And so to kick that off and to let people know about this thing, what I'm doing is I'm having an in-person event for $7. Right?
That's awesome.
That's the early bird ticket, and then it'll
Great.
be $27 for folks that aren't on the wait list or don't get a ticket early. So get your ticket. This episode is going to come out after, but if you mention that you listen to this episode, I'll knock that price down to $7. So you just let me know.
Aw, that's awesome.
Yeah, 100%. So this event is called No Backup Plan.
I love that.
It's where we're going to focus on what your plan A is. What's your goal? What do you want to have happen? Because that's the only thing that matters. That's the only reality in which is going to happen, right?
Yes.
A backup plan, a plan B, that is literally a plan to fail.
Absolutely.
It's a plan when your plan A doesn't happen because of whatever reason.
Hatch.
Exactly.
You and I talked. It's like you got to sometimes put all your eggs in one basket.
Totally.
You got to tend to those eggs versus like, I'm going to put 5 here, 5 here, 5 here. We've all done that as entrepreneurs.
It's a great safe move.
Yes.
It's for a certain time in life.
Yes.
But if you're wanting to move and shake and like get something off the
and
ground.
take a big leap. Like if you're going to leap, there's no next.
No exit strategy.
There's no exit. Like if you don't go all in, you won't go, or
100%.
you will definitely fail. Like I think that is huge. And we have helped a lot of people in our group. Like, I mean, I just go ahead and kick them right off the ledge because at the end of the day, I know that they have to take the leap or it's not going to go anywhere. And that's the scariest thing to me is seeing somebody on the verge of living into their daydream and not knowing how to take that leap. And so you need to be there holding their hand and having the support and accountability, which is what your group is going to provide.
Totally. And it's scary, right? And it's like
super
a
scary.
big thing. Like, how do we know what to do next, right? And so a big thing that I have learned from my mentors in the past, and a big thing that I'm teaching also moving forward, I'm kind of adopting, is like, we don't want any reasonable goals around here. Reasonable goals are not worth having. They're boring. Does a reasonable goal get you out of bed in the morning?
No.
Right.
What about something unreasonable?
Lights your butt on fire.
What about a goal that is so unreasonable when you tell someone, they look at you and kind of laugh and you're just like, thank you. I needed that. I needed that little pang of like energy, right? To like actually like, no, I'm going to prove you wrong. I've got a little bit of a prove you wrong complex, but I think more people need it. I think more people need it. And I think any entrepreneur has it in some sort of way, right?
Yeah, you have to like have some amount of that.
You definitely have to be okay with adversity a little bit. Yeah. Which is what we're talking about. Or having like some uncomfortableness.
Totally. Because
the uncomfortableness, if you push through it, the other side's brilliance, right? Sometimes. So tell us about the event if you haven't already.
Yeah. Well, the event is going to be a Thursday in July. I believe it's July 17th. Tickets and information are down below. It's going to be 2 hours. It's going to be part launch party and social for the education and coaching brand, right? And so we'll have drinks, we'll have a DJ, have some house music playing. So it's going to be great. We're going to have the workshop. So I'm going to lead about a 40-minute to 60-minute workshop.
Okay, great.
We're going to have small table rounds
love this.
that everyone's sitting
Connecting,
at. Yes.
Community.
So you get to meet people.
Love it.
Actually share your ideas with people. Like get that out of your head and into the world and actually start taking some action. And I'm going to give you the framework to do it right now, actually, on the show. Right? I'm not holding anything back. You can come to the workshop. I want to invite you to the workshop so that you can hear this and be in this room, because if you're in Duluth, you're gonna want to be in this room.
Yeah.
This is where
the vibes are gonna be immaculate.
This is where the magic is gonna happen, you know. But whether you can't be in that room, you're unavailable, whatever it is, even maybe you're going to be there, but you also you want to get a little teaser now, I'm going to give you the whole thing.
Okay.
So
also,
let's do it.
Yes.
This is what sold me on being in the room.
Yeah.
You said afterwards there's going to be a DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
so, yeah.
It's going to be so amazing because
it's going to be so good.
If you're around Asher, if you've been at a party with him in the past, you know.
Yes.
You want to be there. It's going to be incredible.
We're going to be dancing.
Also, I mean, I might have some role in making sure that it aesthetically and
looks legit.
No one else
is phenomenal.
could help me bring this to life like Northland Special Events. Yes, exactly. So we're gonna get dreaming right now together. Okay,
we're ready.
So I'm ready to.
I have a new dream I'm working on. I can't wait to tell you about it.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it here, but we're going to talk.
So before we can really like understand what to do right now, what to do next, we need to understand like where are we arriving to? Like what is the daydream, right?
Yeah,
like,
what's the end destination?
What is the end destination, right?
It's on the vision board.
what is on the vision board for like 2 to 3 years from now? So I want you to think about that, right? I want you to zoom out, way out, not just in the next 12 months like New Year's resolutions do, not just in the next 12 weeks like my program is going to do, but 2 to 3 years. I want you to ask these questions. What are you going to be doing? Okay. Just think about that. Give the audience a little moment while we're sitting in the car.
I see it.
What are you going to be doing 2 to 3 years from now? Where are you going to be living? Okay. Where are you going to be living? Is that in town, out of town? Are you in a house, an apartment, lake home? Okay.
A chateau.
A chateau, right? Are you in the Midwest? Are you not? Okay. What do your days feel like when you're going through them? Okay. Who are you surrounded by? Who is in this life with you that you're sharing it with? Right? I know. Oh my God. You feel this? You feel this? Okay. I want you to really feel this, and I want you to picture the scene. I'm like getting goosebumps talking about it.
I can see it.
Because here's the thing, that emotion, that feeling, that is the fuel to your actions now. So everything that you do, every goal that you have, every task that you put on your to-do list every Sunday night going into the week is rooted in that emotional connection to what that life looks like.
Love it.
And if you don't wake up and start like working towards that life or living that life right now in the best way that you can with what you have, then you're robbing yourself of it.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility and you owe it to yourself to live that dream. And you can do it actually a lot faster than in 2 to 3 years from now.
Yes.
Right? But that's just where we're starting.
Love it.
And you can live in that feeling anytime you want to.
Oh my gosh, that's so true.
Because you can ask yourselves those same questions. You can visualize, doing the visualization methods that I've also talked about on here.
Yes.
You can bring yourself back to that as a reminder of what you're working towards. It's as simple as that. And that's often people don't realize it. They don't realize how easy it's free to go through the exercise that we just did. And I just have the best picture in my head.
What does it look like? So tell me, okay? Now we're going to, at the workshop.
We're rolling in lavender fields in France because we're there for a perfume workshop.
Yes.
And then afterwards, you're coming to my chateau or I don't know, some small house.
So good.
And we're going to eat dinner on the terrace and just, wax poetic about all this fun stuff.
Love wine and cigarettes and...
I don't know about cigarettes, but... Maybe some. We'll have Aperol spritzes.
I know. There's I get like 1 or 2 a year.
That's right.
That's
your darts.
Oh, man, gotta have those darts. And we just lost half the audience.
Yes, but that's exactly.
I love you guys. Come back.
The feelings that's what it brought to me of like whatever that looks like. But I think it's like I want to be surrounded by these people that light me up.
Yes,
intellectually, spiritually. All the tastes, smells, things like that.
Just open-minded
I
people
just really felt
that feed your soul.
Yeah.
Monique, what does your 2 to 3 year daydream look like?
So many things. I saw myself on a stage speaking about some of my programs and a book.
Okay.
I love.
Yeah, and living with my man on the water.
Okay.
On the water.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, yeah. And also just like surrounded by all of the people that I love and having help. I've come to realize that, as you build a business, you hit these plateaus.
Yeah.
And I'm at a plateau where I'm doing great. But in order to hit the next level, to get the help so that I can hit the next level, I have to get the help. So I saw that for myself, which was surprising.
I love that for you.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love that I don't have to do it all.
Yeah.
Right?
I think you've been a solopreneur for quite a while now. And that is, there's an evolution there that will serve you really well. So, well, so much more to talk about.
I mean, and then I'm going to be traveling in an airplane to a chateau to roll around in the lavender fields with the two of you.
Help back at home, holding down the fort when you're, making perfumes with us. So.
Love it. I love it.
Phew.
So then, how do we get there?
Wait. I need to hear yours.
Ooh.
Let's turn. I mean,
Can
you
we
are
turn this
our
back
guest.
on you?
Okay. Now the pressure's on. Now everyone's like, wait, does Asher actually have a daydream? What's happening?
Daydream.
No, what does my daydream look like? I want to wake up and have a cup of coffee with my wife and dogs and our
Aw.
kitties, which I do now. So like I'm already living this daydream, which is, I mean, part of
Yes.
why I want to help other people do
Yes.
it. Right. And I just want to be so fueled in what I'm doing, you know,
Yeah.
whatever that is. I want to just like wake up and attack
The
it.
passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and what do I see that looking like or feeling like right now? I see that feeling like I get the opportunity to help other people embrace positivity and embrace what I know they're capable of, what they deep down know they're capable of, but maybe have too many
Limiting beliefs.
limiting beliefs in the way that we need to deconstruct, you know? And I think that no matter what I'm doing, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years from now is just like serving, right? Serving and supporting. That's my role here on this planet, I think, is serve and
In
support.
various capacities.
Yeah.
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 That's
So,
beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you for
that's
sharing.
what mine looks like. Yeah. Literally, I would love to travel more internationally.
Sure.
I'd love to get into more rooms with people. I like to share like these messages and ideas, and I want to be challenged. I want to get into new rooms with people and thought leaders and that kind of stuff. Like I want to do stuff that I look at people doing right now and I'm like, whoa, that's so cool. You know,
Yep.
like I want to do those things.
You will.
know? Right.
I
Oh,
see it for
thanks.
you.
Thanks.
Travel's inevitable.
So that's where most
To
people
chateau and-
exactly. That's where most people stop.
Sure.
Okay. Is with
Sure.
that dream. Oh man, you know, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great to have $1 million year? Wouldn't that be great to have a $2.7 million year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great to have that little chateau? Oh, I can dream. Okay, back to reality.
Right.
You know, like that's where most people stop. So let's actually plot that out.
Mhm.
And what would that look
Mhm.
like?
Business plan or
So
yeah.
kind of,
Right.
I call this daydream design.
Ooh, I like
Right?
that.
So we're going to design 3 possible futures together. And your first future is, what does your life look like 2 to 3 years from now, 5 years from now, whatever, if you continue on the same path you're on? You stay in the same job, maybe you get the promotion, maybe you don't. But like just map out, what do you think is going to happen in the next 3 years if you keep doing the same thing you're doing?
Status quo.
Wonderful.
Yes, probably
Wonderful.
more of the same of what you're doing today.
Okay. Great. What happens? Here's life number 2 that we're going to journal about. What happens if you just do something completely different, right? Maybe it's a different job. Maybe it's moving. Maybe it's, whatever it is.
You introduce a shift.
You introduce a shift, not a major shift, but like maybe
not the daydream shift.
maybe that new idea that you've been thinking about doing, or maybe that job that you're thinking about taking, or maybe you're just feeling stuck in wherever you're at and you're like, oh, what would a move do for me?
Mhm.
What would that life look like? Okay. Life number 3. What would life look like if we remove money, right? We remove money, time,
Mhm.
and any expectations that are on you. What happens? What would your life look like 2 to 3, 5 years from now if money, time, and external expectations were not a part of the equation? Okay. So now that we have those 3 life plans, status quo, keep doing what you're doing, you do something different, and you do something without any constraints on time or money. Okay. Now you have your 3 different plans. Look at them. Okay.
Yeah.
Break them down. Like, are you sensing any themes here?
Mhm.
Are you sensing any limiting beliefs on what you're
Oh, for
capable
sure.
of?
Oh,
What's the
yeah.
disconnect from the life you're currently living to the life that you want to be living? Right? Are life 1 and 2 not that bad? Okay. Great.
Right.
Good for you.
Right.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
Are life 1 and 2 addressing the same issue no matter what happens? For me, my issue with life 1 and 2 when I did this for myself was employment as an idea,
Mm-hmm.
right? I was living life 1, right? I had my job. I was looking at new jobs, okay? What would happen if I got a new job? That's the different path. That's life 2. I would probably end up arriving to the same issue,
Mhm.
that I don't have the ability to be as creative and free with my time and ideas that I want to, right? I can't truly use my benefits and talents to serve other people in the best, most free way I can.
Mhm.
So that's what I identified. So then life 3, I was like, well, okay, this is the only option then, is to work towards this. This is the daydream.
Yeah.
Now, why aren't I living that now? Okay.
Right.
So this is where we get into creating that daydream over the next 12 weeks. Doesn't need to take you 2 years. Doesn't need to be a New Year's resolution. What can you do to wake up and actually start making progress towards that tomorrow? Okay. So for me, My life 3, I said like waking up and making my wife a coffee, not my dogs a coffee, because they're
That'd be
already
weird.
crazy. They're already crazy.
Yeah.
But like the point here is that the life that you're dreaming of really isn't that far out of reach for you, right?
No, and it's more of a subtle mental shift
Yes.
than it is a massive physical shift. And I've done the part from I don't want to be where I'm at and I want to make a major change. I'm super good at that. And I can
Yes.
recognize when I've hit a point where that's the only thing that's going to disrupt.
Yep.
It's like, well, we're moving, right? Or
Yeah.
whatever,
The
like
nuclear
something
button.
massive is happening. Yeah, the
Yes.
nuclear approach.
Yes.
But the real genius lies in the ability in the present moment to make the small mindset shifts that take you into the dream
Yeah.
that you need to be living in your head
Yeah.
in order to be living physically. And when you make that, that's ultimately like manifest the reality. Like it truly, there's something that happens in the ethos where the next thing you know, what you couldn't believe could happen.
Right.
The abundance, whether it's financial or love or whatever, just shows up. It's the
Yeah.
damnedest thing.
Yeah. So now how can we break that down and make it happen faster?
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yes.
what can we do to actually start taking some action? A big theme in a lot of my education is like the action component, right?
Yes.
Like, okay, we have this idea, we have this dream, I have this place I want to go to. I've identified it, but like, how are we actually going to tangibly make that happen? Like, where does the woo, I'm going to quote Jenna Kutcher.
Yes.
Jenna Kutcher. Where does that woo meet the work?
Mhm.
You know?
Exactly.
You know, she says that a lot. Like, how can we go deeper into that idea
Yes.
instead of wider and chasing all these different things, right? And so I want you to ask yourself what needs to be true for you to be living your daydream.
I love that framing of it.
What needs to be true, okay?
Yep.
For you to be living that daydream.
Yep.
Ask yourself that. Okay?
I immediately
Yeah.
had an answer to that.
Tell me.
I need to believe that I'm worthy of an abundance financially
Yeah.
that is beyond my wildest dreams.
Yeah.
And that I am worthy and capable of
Mm,
accessing it.
you are. And you can.
And you are
I'm
worthy.
working on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's happening. You're already making those waves.
It's coming.
I love it. I love it. Monique, what needs to be true for you to reach that?
I
that daydream?
similarly, I think it's just I need to believe I can do it,
Mm,
you know, and then put the focus to actually do the things.
Yep.
Because I have been eliminating, we talked about this yesterday in our mastermind group. I have been pruning
Pruning, big time.
the things that just weren't working for me and
Yeah.
adding in things that are, or just like letting the space be
yeah.
that was created from the pruning.
Mhm.
And so when you are in this stage, you're like, okay, now that I have more spaciousness, what can I go after it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So just doing the thing and
Yeah.
believing I can do the thing to get, I believe it really honestly, but you know, as an entrepreneur I've been at this for so long and so have you, and you're a little newer to it. We get a little bit like, oh God, do I really have it in me to do all that?
Right.
Because you know
Well-
that it takes a lot sometimes.
There's a difference between you can do it,
Right.
you should do it,
Right.
and you desire to do it.
That's a good point.
And I don't use the word want there because a want is serving like a basic human need.
Yeah.
Yes.
A desire is
Mhm.
serving your soul and your
Yeah.
soul's purpose. And so I think you have to ask yourself, do I actually desire this?
Right.
I love that framing.
And the
Thank
things
you.
that you desire are not the things everybody thinks that you should like.
Right.
It's not the trappings of, again, the American dream. It's just
Right.
like,
It's not the fancy
this
car.
is what I
Right.
desire.
Right.
And I desire a stillness, a deepening, you know, things that you've
Yes,
talked about, or like
yes.
whatever that might be. And there's no shame in whatever that desire is,
Yep.
but you have to want it at that level.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a good reframe for me. Thank you.
I love it.
Weird.
It's so good.
This just is a collective phenomenal team.
It's so good. So once we know, okay, I have this dream, I have this thing I want to work towards.
Mhm.
We are going to reverse engineer it now.
Love
Okay.
that.
So I think a lot of people set a goal and they think like, okay, what do I need to do now to like achieve that goal? Right. Like now I've arrived here. What do I need to go? What do I need to do? What you're going to realize is that it's always going to be a moving target
Yes.
and it's going to be so hard to get there starting from the beginning. So what I want you to do is actually start at the end. Can you wake up tomorrow and be living that daydream that you wanted 2 to 3 years from now. Most of it you probably can, right? And so like, again, you're asking yourself what needs to be true. A lot of those things are probably already true. So what you need to do is just reframe your mindset into gratefulness
Yes.
and gratitude
100%.
first with what you have.
Yes.
Yep.
Then you'll be able to show up and serve so much better because you're not chasing something. You realize you already have it and you're ready to share it, right?
Beautiful.
Okay. So now that we reverse engineer that, we're going to start planning for it. Okay. So let maybe part of your daydream isn't achievable just in your brain, right? Maybe you do need to do something. So now let's put that work. Let's put the pen to paper, so to speak.
Let's get that Pinterest board
Let's
fired
do it. Let's get that Pinterest board going. So we're going to map out the next 12 weeks and what that looks like. And so this is what I'm teaching at the workshop. This is what No Backup Plan is about. We're building our plan A, right? This is what my Daydreamer 12 flagship coaching and mentoring program is going to be. So if you want to take what we learn in this podcast episode in No Backup Plan, the workshop, and you want to do this alongside other people for 12 weeks, that's what the Daydreamer 12 is going to be, is that program. So what does that look like? Whether you do this by yourself or in the program, like you're going to get these results either way. Okay. We're going to map things down into 12 weeks, right? Instead of a year, instead of 2 to 3 years. We're going to break that down into 3 milestones. Okay. So you're going to have a milestone that's going to be after your first 4 weeks. We're going to have one that's going to be after the first 8 weeks. And then that third milestone is hitting that goal, right? Is arriving there. So I want you to start at the end and picture that and what needs to happen again for that to be true now, right? Now you're going to have 3 simple things that are going to lead you to that. So like, for example, for me, or for maybe for a photographer that wants to book more wedding clients that are aligned with their vision, right? I want to have like maybe their Daydreamer statement is like, I want to have a photography business that lights me up and helps me serve my couples in a really aligned way where our values can cross between just like me being a vendor at your wedding and giving you photos to me being someone that's actually helping serve you and create like an heirloom and a piece of legacy for your life, right? Okay. So what do you need to do to attract those clients now? That's the daydream.
Yeah.
How do we get there? Okay. Milestone 1 might be relaunching your website to attract those dream clients, changing your copy. Aligning your branding, right? It might be building and scheduling 30 days of aligned social media content. It might be, serving people through blogging. It might be creating a YouTube channel. Like what wedding vendor is on YouTube talking directly to their client about like, here's how to plan a wedding. Here's what a wedding photography looks like behind the scenes. Like that's such an underserved thing.
Yep.
I mean, like little small tangent here. YouTube is owned by Google, right?
Yes.
All of us are fighting each other for SEO spots at the top of Google. You know what shows up at the top of Google?
YouTube
videos.
You taught me that.
Yes.
Yep.
So like, let's make some YouTube videos.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yep.
Like what?
Yes.
Okay. So then milestone 3 is you're going to land and serve those clients, right? That's the leg metric is once you do all those things in the beginning, you're going to arrive at that goal, right?
You have bookings coming in.
Maybe that'll be 12 weeks. Maybe it'll be faster. Maybe it'll take longer. This is all theoretical.
You're going to have proof.
Yes.
Whatever that happens to be, that the seeds you're planting are sprouting.
Exactly. And so I think a lot of people could lose some motivation in this, right? People
that's
are
why
like,
the group is so good.
There's so much that needs to happen.
Yes.
Yeah. So you need that accountability.
You totally do.
Whether you're in the program that I'm designing, you're in someone else's program, you bring this idea to your mentor.
This is why we coaches have jobs.
Right.
Well, that's why a mastermind group is
exactly
all of it.
Amazing.
Yeah, because if we could, we would.
Yes.
So we need help. That's why we're here in community with each other.
Yes. And you need those people to push you.
Yes.
You need those people to hold you accountable.
Yes.
You need those people to not only just like prove to yourself, but to them, right?
And celebrate with.
And exactly. Oh, you're getting ahead of me. You're getting ahead of me. And to celebrate with, right? I think that motivation is what gets you excited, but this preparation that we're doing is what is going to get you moving.
Yes.
Right? So that motivation is what gets you excited and might get you up in the morning, but sometimes you might not have that motivation. So what's going to move you forward? Don't rely on motivation. It's fleeting.
No.
You might not always have it, right?
Right.
Arguably, we don't always have it.
No.
So what's going to move you forward? Preparation. And success, this is something my business coach tells me. Success loves preparation.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You can't get there on motivation alone.
It's the age-old Boy Scouts quote, right? Be prepared. Most
Yep.
important thing.
Yep. Another little
Love that.
pull quote I have from my notes here that I love while we're kind of on this little sparkly like phrasing thing is that planning is a love letter to your future self.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes,
Right?
Miss Love Letters.
Right?
Yes.
You're telling yourself, I deserve this thing, so I'm going to plan for it.
I'm going to get
and
it.
make it happen for my future self.
Might
That's
have
how
to
much you love your future self, is that
Might
you're
have to
making it
steal that
happen for
one
them.
in the wedding planning, event planning
totally see that,
world,
yes.
right? Like
Yep.
that's so good.
Mm.
Yeah, planning is a love letter to your future self.
So we've reverse engineered our daydream from 2 to 3 years, 5 years from now. We're probably close to living it now, right? So we've narrowed it down to what needs to happen in 12 weeks for us to actually really kind of get closer to that.
Yes.
We've broken it down into milestones that are monthly now in those 12 weeks. Now, what do we need to do week to week, day to day, right?
Mhm.
So this is where I think we're going to really make some progress
Okay.
is in the one step at a time, right?
I agree.
So this is where you're going to sit down and you're going to identify your high value tasks, things that move you forward, things that need to be done, and your low value tasks, right? Things that don't need to happen right now, things that you could procrastinate on, things that you could outsource, things that you could have your team work on,
Sure.
Yes.
right? So you're going to look at all these things you need to do for the week.
Mhm.
I like to call this like counting your sheep, going into the daydream, dreaming, that sort
I
of
like
thing.
this.
Count
So you're-
the sheep. I
Right.
love
So
it.
you're gonna count your sheep every Sunday. Okay. And this is a little exercise you can do whenever. You can do this on a
Okay.
Sunday, on a Saturday morning before your kids wake up. You can do this on a Wednesday night when you've just finished dinner and you're like, hey, I'm gonna go do this thing for 30 minutes, right?
Yes.
So count your sheep. You have 12 sheep. Okay. 3 of those sheep are wins, right? What are some wins that went well last week? So we need
Mhm.
gratitude and we need to celebrate. That's a huge thing. Celebrating how far we've come, right? The other 3 sheep are the challenges. So what was hard last week? Maybe you overcame it. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you're still in it. What are 3 challenges? 3 adjustments now, looking forward. What are we going to adjust this coming week? And then what are 3 priorities,
Love this.
also known as
Mhm.
your high value tasks?
Amazing.
There's not that many
Mhm.
high value tasks you can actually do in a week,
No.
right?
If you get one,
Mm-mm.
sometimes it's like
Yeah.
a huge accomplishment.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
And I always say you really can't think beyond, like, you can have an idea what the next tasks will be,
Mm.
but the results of those high value
Yes.
tasks will inform the next high value tasks.
Yes.
I tell people this in planning a wedding, like focus on these 3 things, and then the results of that will inform the next 3 things.
Yeah.
Because we can't always predict how it's going to go, and we are going to hedge so that prediction or the actual outcome is going to be better than we could have imagined. And
Yeah.
then that's going to give us 3 new fun things to tackle. And if you have that mindset, it kind of gamifies it in a way that makes it even more exciting. And is like, I'm going to get these 3 done, and I can't wait to see what my next 3 are, because
Yes.
I can't even fathom how good they're going to be.
Yeah.
It's a really great way to kind of hack the monotony of like, and then I'm going to have to do more, and then I'm going to have to do more. No, we get a bite-sized chunks, count those sheep for
Yes.
this week. And then let's
Smart
see
goals.
what's next week.
Mhm. Attainable
Yeah.
goals. Yes.
So in the Daydreamer 12 program, like
Mhm.
if anyone wanted to do this with me in this 12 week program,
I'm kind of sold, by the way.
I know.
Right.
I actually like.
I mean,
Be in
I'm
it.
maybe we
planning
should
to be
do
at the
this with
party
him.
anyways.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
I actually want this in my
We
calendar.
should come
Get us a little
back
calendar
and then
invite.
like,
talk about it.
Yes,
share
yes.
how-
How it impacted us.
God, I might own a chateau by the fall.
Oh my God.
I want you to own a chateau by
that's
the
so
fall.
cool.
I am going, friends,
That's so cool.
in August, and I already follow lots of
Are you
Instagram
pre-approved?
accounts.
For a second,
I need to consult
What
my
needs to
real
be true?
estate agent.
What needs to be true for that to happen? You need to be pre-approved. Yeah.
It's true.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
I got some research to do. Anyways, I could blow anything up with like
I
a
love
great
it.
idea.
I love it. It's so
So-
good.
Well, I don't disagree with your dream.
I know, it's a
am
good
in
one.
alignment with your dream.
That said, I think you have presented this so beautifully. Anyone listening is
Yes.
going to be
Yeah.
hopping on board, but I would be really cool for us to live this out.
I am
I love the
100%.
framework.
Yes.
I'm like, The sheep. I'm loving the sheep.
Yep.
I think it's
like
so
tucking your little
exciting.
dreams into bed.
Yeah.
Well,
And then
watching
you wake
them,
up and get
watching
to
them,
hang out with them all week.
fountain them.
So fun.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yep. I love it.
Cool.
So that's the basis. And then like what happens next? Like what's the closure here?
Yeah.
You know? Well, now you have your plan. Now it's time to celebrate that.
Yeah.
Celebrate your starting.
Yes.
Celebrate those milestones. Celebrate daily when you check that HVT off your list, that high value task, right? And then, of course, celebrate with your friends and your family, your community, the people around you.
Yes.
Share it online, but also we don't really need to celebrate birthdays. All we did was be born by our mother.
Okay,
right?
I like birthdays.
I know. Hear me out though. Why
True,
don't we celebrate accomplishing a goal, right? As much as we do a birthday party. I want to have hey guys, we do this with graduations. We do this with weddings.
Right. Good point.
We do this with big things. Why don't we do this when we accomplish something that we're so proud of and we want to share with people and just, hey, I'm really excited. I have this energy and I can't contain it within myself. I want to share it with you.
Yeah.
Let me get us a bunch of drinks and food and come together and just have a barbecue at my house, right? Or if you're in the Daydreamer 12, right? Exactly. Oh, I got my Blackstone. We'll be cooking up some stir fry.
Oh my gosh, we just got the Blackstone and the Pit Boss.
Oh, so good.
We're smoking like a. Anyways,
let's go. We need to celebrate. And so at the end of the Daydreamer 12, we have a big party again with the DJ, music, food. We go all out. Like, honestly, it loses me so much money, but it's going to be so fun. It's so,
I was like,
it's so worth it.
I feel like it's going to lose me so much money also, and I'm here for it.
Right? No, because that's not the point.
Right.
The point is the celebration, right? And that is going to be the fuel to move you forward.
Yes. Here we go.
Yes.
Here we go. I'm going to hack this again.
I'm ready.
If we begin with the end in mind, we will manifest the resources we need to not lose money in that party, but to have that be effortless and easy. It doesn't even, we don't even think about it. We're just like, oh, we had this party, it paid for itself.
Yeah.
So there we go.
I love it. Oh, so good.
If you're listening to this, I hope you can feel the energy that we share.
Yes.
And
why we like each other so much.
To be in our life. And
why he's our first male guest.
I know.
Yeah.
And
I mean, there could have been no one else.
Good luck.
I think it's going to be a one and done for a while.
Yeah, that's going to be incredibly
one every 2 years.
Big shoes to
a
fill.
guy can be on.
Yeah. But
so good.
I love how much spinoff we've been able to have here with our own ability to participate in this exciting birth of a program, and I feel honored that you're sharing it with us here.
Of course.
And I can't wait to follow up and revisit it as it rolls out and manifests.
And we each go into the program and we see what we create.
Ooh.
Like how close we get to our dreams.
Yeah,
so
and share real-time stories
because
you're going to need this testimony too for your
100%.
future. So,
100%.
and that's been the beauty of our podcast is so many of our mastermind members have come on here as guests and shared the dreams they've realized because they put themselves in a coaching and accountability model that unpacked it all.
Yeah.
So it's so good.
It is.
Yay. Wow. Well, I feel like this is a good place to wrap for today.
So normally folks, I'm behind the monitor over there.
Yes. And I know no one sees you. No one sees you.
Right, I know.
Right.
So that's normal. I'm here every episode hanging out with you guys. But normally I'm watching how long each episode is.
Yeah.
No idea.
No
today.
idea.
I bet it's been like 3 hours.
No. I'm sensing we're at a solid
It's actually 8 p.m. right now.
65 minutes. We'll see how spot on I am.
Oh, okay.
I think we're going to get up to
check.
almost
I'll just check. I'll check for the audience right now.
Go.
Don't fall. He pulled a hamstring.
How long did you say?
65.
Oh,
wow. See, even I blacked out there for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Well, it's been a good one. And so anybody who is interested in jumping on the Asher Daydream train,
yes.
Where do they find you?
They can find me. My website is asherjames.co. My Instagram, asherjames.co. That's ASHERJAMES.co. Link is in the description. Also, to join the Daydreamer 12 in the future, that is on the website. So no matter when you're listening to this when it comes out, or you're listening in 2027. Hi.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Hello from the past. I hope life is nice.
Future self loves this.
Right, exactly. You can find those links down below as well. And then the No Backup Plan workshop is July 17th, 2025. It's going to be that Thursday evening. I don't have an exact time nailed down at the time of recording this, but it's probably going to be around 6.
Yep.
And that is going to be where things get crazy here in Duluth, Minnesota. So many dreamers in a room together.
Love
Actually
that.
being told that they can do it, right? Like
Oh my God.
actually like starting
Pep
those
rally.
businesses.
It's a pep rally.
It is a pep rally.
Yes, I love that.
100%. Like it is a party where we're celebrating being fed up with what we've been given and being excited to make something new, right?
Love.
And
Amazing.
that's what I'm super stoked
Here for
on.
it.
So all those links are down below. Sign up, get on the newsletter as well if you want to join my little email community. Or if you want to take that a step further and join Daydreamers, you'll get on the email community anyways. I send out, weekly, every other week, just like what I'm thinking about, books I've read, ideas I've come across, things I'm excited for, things that are coming up, share some wins from the community, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just be a part of it. Daydreamers down in the description. Would love to see you there.
I'm so proud of you, Asher.
Thanks.
I can't. I'm having an out of body
You're
experience.
he's like your like baby.
He's
a
my
little
work
bit.
son.
You're
Yeah,
my
your
work mom.
I
son.
know. I'm the work, and I have a lot of
love
work daughters, but he's my work son. And
I kind of feel like
I'm
that.
so proud of you. I have
Yeah.
watched and been by your side through this whole journey too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel this is actually reaching your zone of genius on your path. That is so
Yeah.
exciting. So,
Well,
gonna
while
be
we're loving on
big.
each other a little bit,
Mhm.
I am so grateful to you, right? And the space that you've created here, not just physically, but just like in your 12 to 15 years of entrepreneurship in this community, particularly, like what you've given in positivity and to people's wedding days, to events, to what celebrations and love should be, transcends, I think, anything that I've really had the pleasure of experiencing before.
Oh.
And so I'm super grateful to know you, to be in rooms with you, to be your friend, to be in this building with you. Just so incredibly grateful. And
to be
Monique,
adopted by me.
Right,
Yeah, I was gonna
right.
say, and to be my work mom.
Right, right. And to Monique, working with me on so many amazing projects, inspiring me,
Aw.
helping me like find my aligned values through like mindfulness and meditation. And like I remember doing those Kundalini yoga video recordings with you while I was editing. I would like sometimes do some of it, you know. I'm just like, I need to watch this whole thing anyway. Breath work. And so
I
it's
love
just
that.
it's so cool having someone so inspiring and uplifting in my life, such as you as well. So thank
You're
you.
sweet.
Very grateful for
We
both
feel
of you.
the same about you.
Oh,
I love
thank
us.
Yes, I love us.
you. I know. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Well, I
So
hope
good.
everyone listening has also loved us
Yeah,
and is in on the
welcome.
Love Fest.
Get in this
This
room
has
with us,
been-
friends.
oh
Let's
my
get
gosh.
dreaming.
Yeah.
This has been an absolutely epic, extra special episode of the Heart and Soul podcast. I can't even say it. I'm
Well,
so
I do feel like it's actually the
overcome.
whole gang together.
Yeah.
He's just like the silent
Yeah.
partner
It's
that
like
no one
been
really
here
every
knows.
time, but I'm just
Yes.
not on. I'm not
Yeah,
the on-screen
no one really
talent.
knows that you're here, but now you're actually here, and it's like this is literally what we do.
Yeah.
And why we love this.
Totally.
Yes.
well,
we have these sessions every time we meet.
we
Basically.
do. Yeah,
is
just
what
after,
we're doing
after
We
right
we
smell
record.
each other's scents.
Yes.
We talk about each other's clothes.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
I think this is not goodbye. It's just until next time.
Mhm.
We are going to keep checking in on how the Daydreamer community is going, what Monique and what's going on with our sheep. Do I have a chateau yet? There's going to just be so much to learn in the future. So I feel ignited and excited. So thanks for listening today. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Heart and Soul Podcast.
We love
Heart and Soul
followers.
Mastermind.
Yes.
And I hope you enjoyed this as much as we enjoyed creating it. Cheers, friends. You've just finished another episode of the Heart and Soul Podcast. We hope that you've enjoyed the show. And if you've loved it, we would love if you'd leave us a 5-star review on whatever platform you're listening. You can find links to leave that review in the show notes, where you'll also find other resources that we reference on our show. And if you think a friend could find value in today's episode or any future episodes, please share this episode with them on social media. This is one of the only ways the podcast can organically grow, and we just can't wait to connect with you and all of your besties. You can also find Monique and I on our many social media platforms or our websites, and we're going to leave links to those in the show notes as well. Thank you for listening. We look forward to sharing our hearts and souls with you again next time. With heart, I'm Mariah.
And with soul, I'm Monique.